and welcome to episode 9 of the Beastie Common Room Correspondence on November 23rd, 2019. I am Melanie.
I am Marjolaine.
I'm Juliana.
And I'm Sophie.
Yay!
Yay! We are back!
It's us again! You must
Yay!
us.
You poor people. Well, no one has to watch us, of course. But
I was going to say,
it would be nice if you did.
Yes. Keep watching us, please. All right, so welcome back, everyone. Should we have a small, just a smidge commentary about the 100th episode of SpeakBeasty?
Woohoo! It was beautiful, and I cried, and all of that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, same.
If you haven't listened to it yet, you should definitely go and have a listen to it. It's quite long. I think it was over 2 hours.
Yeah, it's like 2.5 hours, I think.
Yeah, and I think we will not give too much away in case someone hasn't listened to it yet. Although I can't understand why you haven't. It's been out for a week now.
If you're not a regular listener, this shouldn't be your first episode you listen to because it's quite very different. But definitely, if you are a regular long-time listener, give it a listen, and you will be so happy afterwards.
It will also make you understand some of the jokes better, because you will only get that if you have listened to all the 99 episodes before.
True.
Yeah.
And Juliana, right on the beginning, you did such a great shout out for
yes, you did.
Little group. So
thank
you so much.
I forgot that I had even done that because as you know, Marjolaine, like we recorded those like a week and a half, 2 weeks before the episode even came out, and so I'm like, what did I say? I can't remember. Oh gosh.
You said nice things.
Very nice things.
We would have reacted very different if you hadn't said nice things.
You would not be here right now.
Yeah. I'd be sent to the murder house. That's where I'd be.
Yes.
You would be fired like Aaron was on the episode that we will be discussing today.
You mean on every episode? He was fired on every episode.
I think this was actually episode 9 was actually the one where it all started, if I don't remember correctly. This is where it started, the tradition of getting people fired.
Yes.
The stakes are high.
Yeah.
You two haven't been fired yet, right?
No, we haven't. We have clean track records as of right now, but that can all change.
I kind of accidentally fired myself when I was as a guest host on the episode, which was a slight misunderstanding. Afterwards, when I listened to it, I was like, a little bit awkward, but okay, I fired myself.
I am the only one who hasn't been a guest host. So
you haven't been a guest host yet, Sophie?
I have not. I don't intend to because I'm weird. Because I'm weird on things like that. That's why I'm every week I'm here because I'm so weird at it.
But that's the best way to never get fired. So
to never even show up.
Exactly.
Unless we fire you from here, so.
Yeah, but you won't. So. Sad.
Never say never. No, we love having you here, of course. Wouldn't be the same without you.
Yeah, I do agree.
Yeah, and we need the
so
extra
modest.
love. We need the extra love for Tina, so.
Mm-hmm. She's right there. Look at her.
When we started recording, I was like this. I was like, oh my God, that's so wrong.
Oh, speaking of, as I was, as Sophie said to Jennifer, I would probably come up with an idea again to include her because Jennifer can't be here today. Since this is a very Hufflepuff-driven episode today, I thought I'm gonna get my own little pygmy puff out and.
Oh, it's a Jen Sniffler.
So.
Janigli? A Janigli off?
Keep going. So once again you are here somehow, and now everything is falling over. Perfect timing.
Everything is falling apart.
Okay, I need to fix this for a moment. Why don't you maybe already start to, or if you still want to say something.
I can take us into the case if you want.
Yeah, I actually need a moment.
We got this.
Ignore me.
Okay, so
Never.
Main discussion this week. So we just reopened the case. So episode 9 originally came out April 10th, 2016, and was called "It's Hard Out Here for a Badger." So some of the main things that they discussed were the Age of Hufflepuff, and I believe this is where Melanie asked the common room a lovely question, and she actually got a lot of responses, which is awesome.
So many responses.
I was looking for the doc yesterday. I was like, wow.
Yeah, I guess this time we are really the common room correspondent, because most of the episode will be us sharing what kind of discussion we really have in the common room. So that's perfect.
I was cutting them a tiny bit down so we wouldn't speak for 3 hours, but but most of them were just so lovely, and I was so happy that everyone answered. It will be the main discussion today, that we will try to read as much as we can of it. And when listening to the original episode, I thought that they were talking about how Newt might have, what kind of effect he might have had on, how we are looking at Hufflepuff, and what kind of representation he will give us. And I thought I would ask in the common room the following question. I will just read a little bit of what I actually wrote in the common room itself. And I said as follows. As we know, Gryffindor and Slytherin are the main featured houses in the Harry Potter books. And with Fantastic Beasts coming out, we Puffs had high hopes for our own house finally getting a good representation, with our very own hero Newt Scamander being the leading role in the new stories. And I wanted to know, since then, do you have the impression that Hufflepuff lost a bit of its bad reputation? And when I'm saying bad, I mean that people often just assumed that we are stupid and kind of useless. The completely overlooked house that no one even wanted to be in and just made fun of. And have things changed? And if so, in what way? And we will also have a look at the current merchandise and that is out there, and compare the representations of the other houses as well, especially Ravenclaw, right, Sophie?
Mm-hmm. Very important.
Who I think who are very valued for their smarts, but still haven't really been seen much either in the books, just like Hufflepuff. Now, I think that all of us are very inclusive, and we would not really think badly of the other houses, but I still wanted to know anyway if someone might have had a change of mind and started to feel like Hufflepuff isn't all that bad as it's made out to be.
I feel like when I was sorted into Hufflepuff, I was like, oh no. Like initially, like years and years and years ago, so I was like, oh no, that's the house for dum-dums. Well, because in the book, like you get like Gryffindor, and you're like the Gryffindor people are like the great, and then like I feel like just in reflection of like the Fat Friar and like some of the people besides like Cedric that we see coming out of Hufflepuff, it's like nice bumbling idiots, I guess. And I was like, oh boy, like this. I mean, in all reality, yes, I am a bumbling idiot. So do I fit into this house? Yes. So let's be real here.
Actually, when me also being obviously a Hufflepuff here,
No.
I when I took the test, I didn't even expect any. I did not know what result I would expect. But then I got Hufflepuff, and when I read about it, you got at the time still this nice little text explaining what the house means and what it stands for. And that was definitely me. So I was, from the very start, I was just fully into that and accepted it completely. So I am very much a Hufflepuff, I think. So,
if I can give my little, because I was thinking today that being a Hufflepuff was for the longest time, as you said, something you don't want it to be. And I think a lot of people, and I think I saw a video of Seamus Gorman, I think it was him, who said why Ravenclaw is the best house, because nobody will be like, oh no, I don't want to be a Ravenclaw, but you get people, I don't want to be a Slytherin, I don't want to be a Gryffindor, I don't want to be a Hufflepuff. But nobody says, I don't want to be a Ravenclaw. Like, I remember when I got Ravenclaw, I was like, yeah, sure, makes sense. I mean, I really do value wit and creativity. So I wasn't like, oh, I wanted to be a Gryffindor. No, I was happy with it. And I don't think that any other house has this luxury of being like accepted by everyone who gets sorted into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can get into that a little bit more later, because I have since we got so many answers from everyone in the common room, I have sorted them into 3 categories that we can go a little bit into. And the first one is going to be a bit about the book canon. Then the second one will be about the real and everyday life. So meaning the fandom, how are we perceiving the houses? How are we treating each other? How are we being perceived when we are telling we are from Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, etc. And then a very quick look at the merch nowadays as well. So we will have quite a bit to discuss here, because there's many comments, and I thought we could take it in turn and maybe read them out loud a little bit and then discuss them. So
I can't read.
You
have to learn it that way, but I can. Yeah, I'm the stupidest Ravenclaw out there. No, it's okay.
You said that your words, not our words.
But true.
Okay, so maybe we start with Josh and Mari. And Josh wrote, I've always liked the, in quotation marks, lesser houses, and do feel that Puffs are no longer getting a bad rap and are taking a much larger place. Puffs, in my opinion, were the 4th place house, and it's definitely switched to Ravenclaws now.
Yeah, thank you, Hufflepuff.
You idiots.
No problem.
Sorry. I have these self-made little hourglasses with stones in my reading corner here of the houses, and Hufflepuff is actually on the 1st place. So there's not even a 3rd place in my world, at least. And I think Ravenclaw is on the 3rd place. So yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that's interesting what Josh said, because I'm a bit like him too. I never identified myself with Slytherin or Gryffindor, even when I read the books. And I guess at first I always considered myself as a Ravenclaw, because the first ever test I did, even before Pottermore, I always had Ravenclaw. And I thought, yes, I'm totally okay with that. I'm a proud Ravenclaw. But then I became to accept that Hufflepuff is maybe my secondary house. And even at some point, I had a bit of identity crisis. I wasn't sure if I was a Ravenclaw or Hufflepuff, because I realized that maybe Hufflepuff is my house of heart and Ravenclaw is my house of mind. And but now I realize that I'm really a Ravenclaw, but I try to be more Hufflepuff in my everyday life, but we will talk about that later. But but that's interesting how some of the fandom is maybe it's a sign of some if we can relate to Ravenclaw or Hufflepuff, it means that we did get deeper into the lore of the world, because with just the books we don't have it's not enough if you read the books just once to get yourself identified with Hufflepuff or Ravenclaw. But if you think about, but there is this character and this character and this character, and you think more about them, maybe you can relate more to secondary or maybe even lesser important character that we know now are Hufflepuff or Ravenclaw. So, yeah.
If you say so, okay.
You will. I don't know how much you have already yourself been reading through all the comments, but there is quite a diversity, different opinions on those different subjects here. That I could really tell how different people see the level of representation or how their own house is being treated, and it was really interesting, but we will get more into that. Our second comment here is from Mari. And
I can read Mari and you do yourself, I guess, because it's a dialogue.
Yeah,
like a role play.
True. Okay.
So I am Mari and you are Melanie.
I am.
And action.
I feel like Severin had terrible representation in the films.
The poorly evil-looking house sort of representation, you mean?
Yes.
You have to remember we got this out of the common room, so they are actually conversations here. And I said that strangely enough, a lot of people want to be in Slytherin though, and the markets overflow with merch of it or for it, and generally people love the Slytherin characters either way quite strongly, and I would still call that a win. I know many Slytherins do also have to defend themselves a lot, making sure people know they are not racist or generally bad, evil-spirited. Pretty much the same problem as for Puffs not being dumb. And
yeah, I guess we are sort of anti-heroes.
Yeah. Is that how Mari really talks?
No,
I don't know how you.
She strangely talks with a Norwegian accent. I don't know where she gets it from.
Neither. Maybe I should
Mari.
have done this more in a Finnish way, so we could have kept it more Scandinavian.
I think we are European enough here.
Yeah, I think so too.
But I like, the anti-heroes note, because I think Slytherin, and like you said, Slytherin are maybe like a character like Draco Malfoy. It's he has his fans just because he's kind of the bad boy, and the bad boys are cool, I guess, even if I don't think so. But
and we have the whole debate about Snape also being a huge butt, of course, but at the same time, being the double, triple agent. being also sort of a hero. So there has always been a huge debate of is he a good or a bad guy, and fandom is quite split about that as well. So
we could show of hands who likes Snape here.
I really love his character. I do think he is a piece of big pile of poop when it comes to how he treats the students, and generally you can see how he and for example Sirius are treating each other, and it's so he's not the best kind of human being, but there is still enough decency in him that he does the right thing when it comes to helping Dumbledore defeat Voldemort and getting all the information that is needed.
I give him like a 30 out of 100. Just like the 30% for like saving the wizard world. The rest of it is like he's just. I mean, essentially, he's kind of a creep, and like we can't really excuse the way that he treats children either.
No.
Like you said, Melanie, he treats these kids like they're his equals, and he treats them like they've actually done something awful to him, and they really, truly have not. Like, honestly, Harry doesn't really do anything that god awful to Snape.
No.
And
I mean, he does
Snape
later.
Yeah, but not like initially, like right off the bat. Like Snape,
he doesn't
coming in like real hard.
Yeah, and I think people who love Snape, I think Alan Rickman helped a lot the reputation of Snape, because Snape is far worse in the books than in the movie. In the movies, and Alan Rickman is so he brought something more soft and more funny also than in the books, because in the books Snape he's really the worst. He's angry, he shouts out at the people, and no.
I mean, it's the worst to be the boggart of a student and never did anything to him. You know, he never talked back or something. But to be that scary to a child, is something. So like you said, I don't like Snape at all. Like, he's a cool character when it comes to a book, like to a book character as a whole. But I don't like the person of Snape.
Yeah,
and
that's what I mean also.
Yeah, I do like Alan Rickman in that role. And that's just, it's like written onto him. He's perfect.
Yeah, I agree.
It's true that with two characters like Snape and Malfoy, Slytherin House has really a type that is, for me, that's the most repulsive. But if I could rank the house with which house I identified the most or the less, Slytherin is last. But again, I had Slytherin once in one test, so I don't know.
Slytherin is the only house I've never got. And there was one test I did, like I always get Ravenclaw. And there was one test I did where it showed how many percentage you are of a house.
Yeah.
And
I was about to ask.
40, and I had like 40% Ravenclaw, 20% Gryffindor and Hufflepuff, and like 12% Slytherin. Like it said, you are the nicest person or something. So I am not a Slytherin at all. But I mean, of course, I am not ambitious at all. I mean, I know that about myself. So it would be very weird for me, even for the good parts of a Slytherin, to be in Slytherin.
Yeah, see, Slytherin's my secondary house, but I can like totally see it because I'm like very ambitious. Like, I mean, like, just like academics wise, like I'm finishing up my master's degree. I just ran like a double marathon thingy. Like, I'm always, yeah, no, you never know. You never guessed, but by the fact that like I finished and I was like, oh, I could do that again. Like, my standards are like way up here for myself. Like I can totally see that, like that in part of me. But then again, like I am also the person who's just like every time I have an interaction with someone, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm definitely a Hufflepuff. I'm the person who'll just sit there and just be like, oh wow, I'm so sad. I'm just like way more empathetic than I care to be sometimes.
You're all talking about your secondary houses, and for me, it's more like, okay, I'm a Ravenclaw, and I'm a Ravenclaw, and I'm a Ravenclaw, and I'm a Ravenclaw. There's no secondary house for me. My other secondary house would be a Thunderbird, but that's just what Pottermore said. I don't really see it. I just don't want to change it because of people. But no, I'm 100% a Ravenclaw. I don't have a secondary house. Just for the feels of it. I'm wearing your colors.
Well, every single test I took has always been definitely Hufflepuff. There has never been anything else. But I also took the test where you have the percentage, and my second one would be actually Ravenclaw. And it kind of makes sense to me because I would say over 90% of my Harry Potter friends are Ravenclaws. I am only surrounded by Ravenclaws almost. It's really strange.
Because we are the best, of course.
So I like to have very ambitious, smart people around me because I apparently don't have them too strongly as values in myself. I don't know. Maybe I
not
strive
ambitious
from you guys. I don't know.
We are not ambitious. We are more like smart.
Very smart. Smarty pants. I like smarty pants.
I'm watching 101 Facts videos, not for fun. I watch it because I'm a Ravenclaw and I kind of have to.
Oh, yeah.
Very true.
The Ravenclaw are a bit obsessive. We have our things and we need to go for it, but not for ambition, just because we need to. It's nothing to do with ambition.
I think that is also why Ravenclaw doesn't surprise me as my secondary house, because I am also someone, if I want to know about something, I will do research without end. I will want to know every single detail about it, so I'll just go for it, and it's gonna take me a couple of days before I'm done with it. So.
And I'm the worst one when it comes to remember stuff. Like I do remember stuff that doesn't matter, but when I'm interested, I remember forever. Like you know me when it comes to interviews, I know exactly what they said at what point, and I exactly do it in their voices. But I cannot remember a math formula or something when it comes to chemistry. I have no idea about anything.
See, I can see the difference between like me being a Ravenclaw and me being a Slytherin, because like I will research and do things to no end, but only if it's about so if it's about
and that's why you have me, is because I can tell you stuff about your hometown, Murder City, USA.
Yeah. Sophie knows more about the place that I live in than I do, because I'm like, I don't really care about where I live. So
I think now that you're mentioning it, I think that the whole murderous town of Juliana is our Sasquatch of this Correspondents.
Murder Town,
It's
USA.
so funny.
It's in every episode now.
I still have to go over to that place. I'm gonna get you a shingle, Sophie. Don't you worry.
I don't want it. I don't want it.
Do it.
I'm gonna bring some like gloves with me. I'm gonna put it in a little plastic bag. That way I don't have to touch the dead soul that's attached to it. And I'm gonna put it in a nice little envelope. I'm gonna send it over to Germany, and you can keep the dead soul person over there.
I don't want Shirley in my home.
Now I'm kind of, for a moment, I'm glad that the Post is on strike here right now. So something from Juliana like this could not even reach me right now.
You could all have murder shingles if you want.
No.
She's sending us all the murder shingles because we don't have murder in Europe. We are a nice place.
Well, as you keep saying, Finland doesn't exist, so we don't have any murders. Ever.
Yeah, that's true. Finland does not exist. It's proven. It's on YouTube. You can look it up. It's there. Finland does not exist.
Okay, maybe we should move on because we have quite a bit to go through. Who would like to take Eleanor's comment?
We are going Australia. I can do this.
Yeah.
Oh, Sophie's
But
gonna do it. Go ahead.
Give us your best accent.
I'm not doing that. I think puffs were actually always given a significant amount. I'm not doing this. Of time in books. The movies wiped a lot out, but they were obviously a morally good house like the Crips. We can name plenty of puff characters, even without the Fantastic Beasts movies, and they play a major role as a house in the story. But in terms of reputation, I think most dedicated fans were already aware of the significance of the house. Ravenclaw has always lost out by far. The most significant Claw character is Luna, and she's a bit of an outcast at the house. What with everyone stealing her stuff? Otherwise, we have Cho Chang, who's primarily known for being pretty and crying. So Ravenclaw gets the rawest deal by far. If these movies had been about Ravenclaw, that would have made a bigger difference to people's perception, because we'd actually be getting a lot into something we haven't been before. I said I can't read.
No, you did well. So I think that was quite interesting, actually, because it made me think a bit more about Ravenclaw, actually. Yeah, they are not really doing that great in the books either, necessarily. Yeah.
Do you remember when I said today, Luna Cedric, just writing it down here in the messenger because I wanted to say something about it?
Yeah, yes.
And that was exactly it. With Luna, I mean, yes, we have one of the main characters, one of the main 7, but she never really feels like a Ravenclaw because she is so outlawed by her own house. And at the same time, you see her, especially in the movies, being so much around the Gryffindors, and her wearing this big, huge lion head and being for Gryffindor as a Quidditch match. So, and compared to Cedric, who is a Hufflepuff, he was made to be a Hufflepuff. And it was made clear that he is a Hufflepuff, and everybody cheered for him because he was a Hufflepuff. Mm. And it was, it was more like, you read the books and you're like, Cedric the Hufflepuff, blah, blah, blah. Cedric the Hufflepuff, blah, blah, blah. With Luna, it was more like Luna, the person.
Yeah, but so, I think it's difficult because at the same time, when you go to Pottermore and you read the description of Ravenclaw, when you are sorted to Ravenclaw, you understand why Luna is in Ravenclaw, and this crazy side of Ravenclaw that it creates around creativity and speaking out of the box, and who cohabitate with the very focused mind, and so that's Ravenclaw is a strange house. But I think the fact what Luna shows too is that Ravenclaw doesn't have such a community sense. There is no. I think there is not the same. Yes. Maybe the same bond between the Ravenclaw than between the Slytherin, for example, or of course the Gryffindor and the Hufflepuff. So I think that's why we have these characters so who don't make one identifiable group. Cho Chang has Ravenclaw's friends, but she's not defined by this sense of community. And but I disagree with Eleanor. I think Cho Chang is a great character who is not just the crying the crying girl. So yeah.
I mean, it's true that Ravenclaw. I think it's a good thing because in the later books, the head always spoke about don't be just in your house. Remember there are other houses and be friends with them and unity. And I think it's cool of Ravenclaw being like that before the head says it. Like we see with Luna especially being so friendly to the Gryffindors, and we see it with who is it? One of the sisters is a Ravenclaw, but her other sisters
Bathilde's sister.
Bathilde, yeah.
Which one? Padma is in Gryffindor and Parvati is in Ravenclaw, right? I don't know.
The reverse.
I thought they were both.
I don't know, but it shows that Ravenclaws are smarter than the other ones.
Yeah, and Cho has a Hufflepuff boyfriend, and then Cho has a Hufflepuff boyfriend, and then a Gryffindor boyfriend. So yeah.
If there is one good thing about the movies, it is that you can actually see in the background a lot of houses being mixed, doing homeworks and such together, and just having conversation, hanging out. So that I think was really nice. And I think as a Hufflepuff myself, I can say that we would probably tend the most to try and be friends with everyone from every house, even with Slytherin, even though, as we can see, they have a bad reputation of being evil, which is of course not necessarily all true. Of course, there's a lot of characters in this book that has a big focus on them that we see they are not that great, but there are many other people in that house that are amazing. Probably we just don't get a chance to really see them and experience them. But yeah.
But may I remind you of Ernest Macmillan, who is a Hufflepuff and is like the worst nice person ever.
That is the thing about Hufflepuff, that people keep thinking we are only nice and we are just pushovers. But I think that we are a good mix of everything. We are not like identified only by one trait, as they tend to do with Gryffindor, Slytherin, and Ravenclaw. So we have like all sorts of characters in our house. And I think it's not a big surprise that we have a douchebag in there as well, who is being a bit stupid in the books. But, you know, then we have again someone like Cedric, who is like super lovely and very fair. And so there you can see that we have all sorts of characters happening in our group of people.
Yeah, there is douchebag in every house, because
of course.
Of course, we have Gilderoy Lockhart. So
true. We have Zachariah Smith.
It is so easy to forget these kind of characters because they not necessarily maybe have a huge role in the stories. Lockhart had, of course, but I also now forgot him actually for some reason, that he is also a Ravenclaw and he is the biggest douchebag of them all. I mean,
he is in the house of douchebag. Like, he's not Ravenclaw. He just got put in there because there is no house that is called douchebag.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah. So if you like, we could move on to the next category, which is the real and everyday life perception of the fandom and how we are treating each other and how we are being received as our house. So I like to have a look with you and look at the comparison between the houses and how they are perceived. And I think Marjolaine takes Murray over again, and I will answer you.
Think about the Norwegian accent.
As a French person, try to do Norwegian.
I can't. My own accent is. I can't do something else than my own accent. I'm sorry.
No, just go for it.
For that, I can do your accent very well. But you can do your own accent.
Don't push me, or I will try the German accent, and you will not be happy about that.
Oh, it can't be any worse than my German accent. So
it's easy for you to do accents in your own language.
Me?
Yeah.
I can like, I feel like the only things that I can like kind of say is like when I start saying that, like I can kind of do a French accent when I start saying phrases that like Marjolaine says a lot, or like words that I've heard her say a lot. And I think the only thing I'm trying to think of the words that I use to get into an Irish accent. I'm like, getting my lucky charms. I got me lucky charms here. Like, it's like really the only thing that I can say with an Irish accent. It's literally it. It's probably that would probably. So.
I see. We need another new segment that
bad accents with Julia.
Try to read quotes from the Fantastic Beasts movies in this and this accent.
Oh, wow. Yeah, this could be rocky. You pick one and I'll do it.
Okay. So take it away.
So Marie said, when I was in London and bought my robes, a kid said, "Look, Mom, a Slytherin. Slytherin are bad." I honestly don't know where our reputation comes from.
She's so oblivious. It's cute.
Just a wink to Marie. It's herself. I took your other quote out.
I gotta check it now. Keep moving on.
So I answered to her that it makes me think of the first couple of chapters of the first book with Hagrid, Ron, and I think with Ron and with Draco. They all right away make a point of what they think about Hufflepuff and Slytherin, giving Harry already bad impressions without that he has even seen anything of the actual houses himself. And then I thought afterwards also that the rest of the books aren't making it any better for Slytherin either. They're just being pointed at for being full of Death Eaters, and seeing so much of Draco being a little butt isn't helping much either.
And I just remember that the first meeting between Harry and Draco in the books is actually when Harry was buying his robes. And so I just thought of the comparison with what Marie said, because she was also buying her robes.
True.
So she was the Draco of the situation. So she can't complain about having the kids being afraid of her.
I mean, I had hopes. I had high hopes that it would get better for Slytherins with Lida, and especially while I was watching the movie. Yeah, while I was watching the movie, and I mean, hashtag Lida lives for me. If I don't see your dead cold body, I am not into believing that she's dead. So she's still there, but I really hope that with her character, I mean, we did have good Slytherin characters before, like Slughorn, who was kind of like a good character on the edge of being, but he was on the good side. So
he was on the good side, but at the same time, he was also quite prejudiced. When you think about, he was kind of still saying things like pure blood and something about Hermione, that she's a muggle born, but
it's like he was like this person who would say, "I'm not racist, but," and she would be just like,
yeah,
you don't say that.
and his way of collecting people, and taking it to his advantage, getting free tickets and whatever kind of things he could get his hands on. So again, I feel like he's a person you can like very much disagree on. He has his good sides, of course, but at the same time, he's a person I would probably myself not be comfortable with having around. So I no.
Yeah. Actually, it's the kind of Slytherin that we have in academics. I see around myself a lot of people like that. So, and I can confirm that that's not the best kind of people to be around. So,
yeah.
Ooh, pretty.
Benjamin Elefant. Ist überall im ganzen Land bekannt.
Our German side is coming out too strongly again.
I have no idea what you just said.
Sorry.
I was like, I'm going to say something in English that they can't understand. I was like, I don't. That's stupid. But I do that.
If you did an American TV show from the 90s, I would still know it. So that was a German TV show from the 90s. So
Okay.
You can't beat me.
So then we have someone who wants to take over Lizzie.
Which one? Because it's Lizzie G. Then I do it.
You do it? Okay.
I've always been a Griff and Marjolaine drawn to the house, and so I've been annoyed that people have always said, "Oh, you only like it because Harry, Ron, and Hermione are in it." So I am loving the fact that Puffs are shining and taking center stage, not just because it's taken some of the crap away from me. Puffs have great qualities that people should strive to have, so I've never understood why it's been the butt of a jokes. Those are qualities we all need more of in our lives, so I say bring on the Puff Bride.
That was perfect.
I know.
I love you. That's not what I answered her, though. I think she brought a quite good point there. So
I have no idea what she said. I was so I have no idea what I just read. Give me a second. I have to read it again.
So the point that she said that I've always been a Griff and majorly drawn to the house, so I've been annoyed that people have always said, "Oh, you only like Gryffindor because Harry, Ron, and Hermione are in it."
Yeah,
and
that's a great point,
yeah. So I asked her, "Do you feel though that the same could now be said about the Puffs? That people suddenly would all only want to be in Hufflepuff because it's Newt's house?"
Oh yeah, I think that's definitely gonna happen. I also wonder whether people will identify with the qualities of the house or the famous side of Newt. That's more a pondering rather than something I think will necessarily happen. I think there is something good about Newt and different to a traditional hero that would appeal to different people. And there's still a lot of different characters in the film for other houses to identify with.
Thank you, Lizzie.
Spot on.
I'm sure she will appreciate it.
That's funny because
hate me so much right now. all the British people like Jen is sitting there like, oh my god.
You actually made me cry. Yeah, so Marjolaine, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, that's interesting the way that she responds, because she said that maybe, and I'm thinking about maybe there are few new people who are introduced to the Wizarding World with Fantastic Beasts, but the way that she described Newt as a very different kind of hero that will appeal to different kind of people, that's pretty different from the trio that we had with Harry Potter, because with these three Gryffindor that all have a different personality, everyone could identify with a Gryffindor in the books, and in Fantastic Beasts everyone can't identify with a Hufflepuff who just have Newt, and he has a very specific personality, and so that's quite different, I think.
He's kind of like the Luna of Hufflepuff. I feel that he's even in his house. I mean, yes, I say it again, they're the nice people, and kind of like they're very inclusive, actually. I mean, that's one of the good points of Hufflepuffs. But even in his own house that is so known for its inclusive,ness, he is still shunned off. He's still an outlaw in this house.
I'm not sure if we can say that he is shunned out. I think he's a person who has trouble being social with humans.
That
with
is
other
true. We
people.
don't know. We don't know if it is his own choice. That we don't.
Yeah.
That's true. We don't know that.
So as far as we know about him personally, I think it might be the case that it is because of his own personality that he shuts himself off from people.
Mm-hmm.
And that he is rather drawn to his creatures already from the early years on. But I think we will just have to see that we are getting, hopefully, still some explanation about how he was expelled and so on.
But at the same time, he says he annoys people. So I would think that it has already started in Hogwarts, that he realized, oh, nobody wants to be my friend. So, oh my God, I just made myself cry. Oh, poor baby Newt.
And I think that's right. It could be his Ravenclaw side, I guess, because I guess everyone has different house in themselves, except Sophie, who is a 100% Ravenclaw, but
400%.
Yeah, of course. And but I guess, and yeah, like we said that Hermione is a Gryffindor and a Ravenclaw, and Luna, I guess, is a Ravenclaw and a Gryffindor, or I don't know. But yeah, Neville maybe has a Hufflepuff side too, and maybe Newt has a Ravenclaw side, and against the Ravenclaw all bringing to themselves.
I would love him to say, I was sorted into Hufflepuff, but I always felt more like a Ravenclaw. I would be like, why do you Hufflepuff can go home now? He's ours.
I think I'm not sure Eddie Redmayne will like it, because he did such a good job for the Hufflepuff Pride. We didn't talk about that, but his clip is wonderful.
Yeah.
He even sorted Catherine into Hufflepuff without any reason. Like, he was just like, oh, please be a Hufflepuff.
And you were a Hufflepuff, and you were a Hufflepuff, and you were a Hufflepuff too.
You're a Hufflepuff, and you are a Hufflepuff.
Nah, you not so much, but you are a Hufflepuff.
I don't like you. You are not a Hufflepuff.
If he would do it to a fan crowd, I would be like, not me, don't.
Yeah. So, Sophie.
I'm not reading Jennifer.
No, you are.
You have to read yourself.
You should read yourself.
I was already at Jennifer's. Okay. I said, definitely, Hufflepuff gets its fair share now. There's a newfound pride in the house and the fandom. I love it. To a certain point, because after a while I'm like, yes, we get it. You are great.
Which I said, answered with, well, we are great.
Duh.
But I also said that in all seriousness, we just had to defend ourselves all those years because people kept making fun of us. So if a puff is a bit louder about his house pride, I think it comes from that kind of place.
Yeah, and I do agree with that. I mean, I didn't write it in the comment room. I was still defending Ravenclaw. But as you say, I never got the hate for Ravenclaw. There is no hate for Ravenclaw. As I said, if you're a Ravenclaw, you're happy you're in it. And if you know Ravenclaws, you're like, oh, you're a Ravenclaw, and that's basically it.
Yeah.
And we get to it later. Just from the merch department, we were kind of sidelined. Yeah. So I do agree with you, sort of, kind of.
Yeah, it's funny. Maybe. I just remember that my little brother he's a Hufflepuff, but he's quite a casual fan. He didn't read the books. He didn't really care. But actually, he cares about the sorting. And the first time that he did the test, he had Hufflepuff, and he said, okay, and now he's really, no, I'm a Hufflepuff. And he Yeah, when we are all together with the family, we tried with my brother. We tried to sort our parents, but yeah, he's staying with Hufflepuff. And I said, you know that we can take the test again, and he said, no, I'm a Hufflepuff. I don't want to take the test again.
Good on him.
I wish
We'll keep
I
him.
wish I could make the test with my whole family. It would be so. I mean, I think that my father and my mother are Ravenclaws because they're so highly intelligent. But not to brag, but they're really intelligent people. But maybe my mother could also be Hufflepuff. I don't know. But they are always in English test, so it would be very weird to do the test, and I would have to translate it very fast so that the test doesn't go away. So sadly, I can do the test with them.
But do you have the same thing that you are sometimes in your mind automatically sort people into houses?
Yes, definitely.
I keep doing that, but I'm not speaking it out loud because I don't want people to think I'm a crazy person.
Oh, not with real people, like not people I know in real life, but definitely actors and actresses.
Okay.
Or my the late show hosts, American late show hosts. I do. All of them are sorted in my head.
Okay. All right. Moving on. Again, someone of you.
Okay, here we go.
Juliana.
Gotta get myself.
She reads Jennifer.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it with an English accent too. You ready?
Yep.
I have a lot of puff tendencies, which I used to hate, but you and Elaine, come on, seriously, has definitely made me embrace them more. A lot of my friends and family who are casual fans still think Hufflepuff is the Duffer's house, but I do think they're having a well-deserved resurgence. Smile.
And I said, what was it that made you hate it?
I think it's just the British in me. I'm just so used to showing emotions just so used to showing emotions not being a thing. I always think Alan Rickman's control your emotions, discipline your mind. I'm really a softie at heart, though I don't mind that too much anymore. Me trying to concentrate on doing a British accent and reading at the same time is very hard.
Right? You don't know what you just read. You were just
I have no idea.
It is hard.
That was a challenge.
I love
think she's right.
Connelly. Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's completely right that I mean, I don't want to say that British people can show emotions as a German because we are even worse than that, apparently. But,
Really?
well, they say we can't laugh. So we don't have humor.
We are the most hilarious people on this planet. Hello?
I know that. But people around the world think that we go to the, what do we say? We go to the cellar to laugh. You get it.
In den Keller zum Lachen.
And but I think that she is right that that this is a very British thing.
Yeah. And it's funny because when I had my identity crisis between Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw, I think it was because I was in a moment of my life when I realized that I repressed too much of my feelings and I needed to be more emotional. And it was at the same time that I thought, maybe I'm a Hufflepuff because I don't want to repress my feelings anymore. And so
I literally just had a psychological test done on me, and I'm not afraid to say what came out. On my intelligence level, I'm on the very far right, so I'm pretty intelligent. Not want to brag, but it's just like it is. But at the same time, emotional wise, she was like, oh my God, I've never seen such a high number on the emotionally chart. I am just so emotionally. And she said, that's difficult to live by. And I was like, oh, really? You don't say it's difficult when you really feel everything that's happening, not just to you, but everything that happens around the world, and you just feel everything.
Yeah. I think I'm kind of like that as well.
Yeah.
I shoulder a lot of that stuff onto my own shoulders often as well, even though I really, really don't have to do that. But yeah, I just want everyone to be happy and
yeah. For that, I don't cry in movies a lot, but show me a video on Facebook that is sad or even happy. Like, you know, these videos where a soldier comes home and the family runs towards them. They always make me cry. I always 100% cry about it. No movie makes me cry, but this makes me cry.
I know I'm too empathetic because I like the Olympics. Oh my God, they make me cry so much because like the passion and like the energy that these people put into the like I was watching like this random skiing event and I was bawling at the end. I have no idea who won. Didn't matter. Never seen this event before. The person who crossed the finish line, I was like, it's so beautiful.
I do cry. And anthems make me cry. That's true. Anthems, whenever I hear an anthem, I like get goosebumps. Could be anyone. Could be, I don't know. But I get goosebumps and like, oh, that's so beautiful. It's so beautiful.
But just one more comment about Jennifer here, that it's so sweet that if you caught this from the comment that she said that because of Newt and because of me as a Hufflepuff, she has embraced it more. It's so sweet of saying that.
She loves you.
Yeah, so that already made me almost cry again because that was so sweet.
But it's true. The Hufflepuffs in the common room are the sweetest people, like you and Elena, and probably other people that are very cute are Hufflepuffs. I don't know.
What about like, Juliana?
Juliana, but is Megan a Hufflepuff? Because she feels like one. Yeah, she feels like one. She always makes me cry when she says something.
I just in generally really enjoy everyone in the group, especially you girls. I think we have grown quite close through these hangout recordings and chatting basically every day with each other and sharing our private thoughts and
jokes just for me and Melanie because we can make German and we leave the other ones in the dust. This is my favorite part of the day. I swear. Yeah, but there are always jokes about the English language. That makes it so funny.
Oh, even better. It's so funny.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now we need somebody with a southern accent.
Oh, yes, the next one, the next comment is from Ariel.
She doesn't have a southern accent.
She doesn't have, but she always says she has one. I'm like, where?
You want a real southern? Okay, you asked for it.
I could give it a try too, but you go first.
I'm trying to get myself into like a southern twang. Honestly, I feel like a lot of casual fans still use the whole Hufflepuff is a loser house argument. Like when I tell people I'm a puff, they get kind of smug, and I'm just like, question mark, why? The only reason it took me so long to realize I was less Ravenclaw and more Hufflepuff was because I thought the latter was a bad house. But because my own strong emotions tied to Luna Lovegood, I love being a puff. I think it fits me well. But I still have noticed that some people sticking to the same old house and boring jokes about the house.
Oh my God.
Is that accurate to Ariel?
No, but it was perfect
I really hope that they all are watching it and telling us later what they thought about your impressions.
I mean, you're right, Ariel.
I'm so glad I don't have to do them because I'm reading my own things here. But
Ariel does not have a southern accent, but she always says she has. I'm like really like no.
I don't. Where is she from? Because she doesn't. She doesn't. Tennessee, like the further south you go, the more the twang that you get that comes out.
That was so Alabama of you right now.
Yeah. Because you,
Like,
I mean, you can, like, what? You can do it like a little bit more subtle. Like when I was in Richmond, Virginia, it was a little bit more subtle, you know, like that. But when you really get down into Texas, where you pick up the twang.
Juliana, you broke Sophie. You broke her. She's in pieces. Look at her.
Oh my god, I'm so glad I did not put on makeup. But you just sounded like Forrest Gump. It was so funny.
If we would have a separate blooper reel, this would be on it.
But because we don't, it's on the main content.
It's right here. Enjoy. So
you said in your Boeing English.
In my Finnish German English, apparently. Yes, I very much agreed with her. And I said, yes, I have noticed that too. Just recently, again, I had to deal with those, oh, poor you, being in the dumb house comments by someone. I keep thinking those who do that haven't really been reading the books properly, because they are teaching us to be kind and thoughtful and to not discriminate others for nonsense reasons, like, for example, blood status, etc., or in what house you are in. So
yeah, definitely. And I think it's the least Hufflepuff thing you can do, or even the least Ravenclaw thing, the least Gryffindor thing you can do, to be that mean to somebody.
I guess we can just say the less Potterheads, because and definitely. I think that's something like I think when we can appreciate the why Hufflepuff are so important and great, it's because it's a way of recognize Potterheads too, because we can always say, oh, but you have to read the books to know that every Hufflepuff stayed at the end for the battle for Hogwarts battle, and if you are Potterheads, you must know that J.K. Rowling said that everyone should want to be a Hufflepuff, because the world would be a better place if we had more Hufflepuff in the world. So because they do what is right, not because they want to be brave, just because that's the right thing to do. So yeah.
But I do think, I don't know if you guys realized it, but I have a feeling that the most pure-hearted Harry Potter fans are Hufflepuffs. Like, I do feel that a lot of like really big fans of Harry Potter are either Hufflepuffs or Ravenclaws, just because of those traits. Like, they love, Hufflepuff loves how much love there is, and how much it speaks about coming together and being together. And for a Ravenclaw, it's very cool to read books. So I feel like it is inevitably that there are so many fans, Ravenclaws and Hufflepuffs, like the big ones.
I'm not sure if we can rank that, but I'm sure that our personality and so our house changed the way that we appreciate the saga. And I think a Gryffindor and a Ravenclaw don't love the same thing in the books, but we can still relate to other things. And a Slytherin can be really invested into the books and really a really big fan, but he or she find something else to relate to than a Hufflepuff, or
We have one comment here still that I did not quite know where to fit, but it kind of fits into what you just said now, which is from Margie. And she says that she was just at Conjuration, a magical fan convention in Atlanta. And every year for 6 years, they have a House Cup championship. And every year it is a battle between Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw. Slytherin and Gryffindor barely score. So I just felt like it kind of it's not so much about the points, but that they are, as you said, maybe more invested in
Yeah, that's
in
exactly that's what I mean. That of course, like for being in a common room, you have to be invested into the fandom. I feel like you wouldn't just be a normal fan and be like, oh yeah, I'm going to pay for them for me telling me what's going on. You have to be invested in it, and I feel like in the common room, maybe it's just me feeling like this, but I do think that we are mostly Ravenclaws or Hufflepuffs.
Didn't we have recently a poll actually to see?
That's exactly what I'm referring to.
And there was a battle between who's more Ravenclaws or more Hufflepuffs, and
Yeah.
I think it was very close. And we had a handful of Gryffindors and Slytherins combined.
Exactly that thought was in my head while I did the poll, because I was very interested in this. As I look at our we are 4 people now. We could easily be all 4 houses, but no, we are 2 Hufflepuffs and 2 Ravenclaws.
And Jen is another Ravenclaw.
Exactly, but also she's a horned serpent, so she doesn't count. I'm kidding.
Okay.
But Ravenclaw and Thunderbird, Marjolaine and I am both the same houses. So.
And now that I'm thinking about that, for the longest time, I think I heard a lot that Ravenclaw was the most represented house in the fandom because of the fact of being invested into fairies and to going deep and be passionate about something. And now that with Fantastic Beasts, perhaps with our fandom around Fantastic Beasts, certainly, but the Hufflepuff representation change. I think that's our main topic today. But I think that changes a lot. Yeah.
I also think that a lot of people sorted themselves, and when they got Ravenclaw, they were just like, yeah, okay. What I said earlier, that you're not mad when you get sorted into Ravenclaw. You're just like, oh yeah, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, if I would be suddenly sorted into Ravenclaw, I would be like, what? No.
Yeah, now that's different, of course.
Yeah, of course. I'm just joking.
For years, but
yeah. Okay. So we have 2 more comments on this.
I checked. The next one is
from Amy.
She's from New York, who wants to do it in New York.
I don't know if I can do a New York accent.
I don't. I know that I can.
Hey, I'm walking here. What are you doing? Okay, let's go for it. You ready? Here we go. You asked for it again. I just got to get myself. I'm walking. I've always felt a strong connection to the house. I feel the values reflect my own. And I've always sort of been like that misfit, floating between groups. So belonging to a house that people deem as for the rest, who don't fit into the other houses, makes sense for me. I think that with Newt being a representation of the house and being so loved, it has made people more apt to want to belong to the group as well. Okay, how was that? What do we think about that?
Amy. Thank you, Amy.
So aggressive. You could have been from everywhere, but that was so aggressive.
I mean, people from New York, generally speaking, are like of the more aggressive type.
I know New Yorkers who don't speak like that.
That sounded.
I grew up in the gutters.
I don't know why it makes me think of an angry pigeon that lives in the New York streets.
I just wanted to say that Catherine doesn't talk like that, and she's from New York, and Dan doesn't talk like that, and he's from New York.
Oh, there comes the pigeon part again in.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe she talks as Tina like that. I haven't noticed. You're arrested.
Hey,
I'm walking
here.
Yeah.
I do have a little phrase that gets me into the accent. That's the entry point.
It was, and the funny part, it wasn't even in the script. It was just an improvisation he did because there was a taxi almost running him over, and he was like, "I walked in here." Okay, let's move on. Do you want to read it again? Do we know what she said?
Yeah.
So
that sounds more aggressive the way that you were quoting that, but that's interesting how you feel like a misfit and know that more people are accepting this house. It changes your perception, I guess.
Oh, she will pop back in.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of now that I think about her comment a little bit, I have to say that without going into much detail here, what I have experienced growing up and such, I always felt out of place as well. And I kind of relate a little bit to what she's actually saying. So, and Hufflepuffs are very accepting of everyone. Why are there 2 black screens now? What's happening?
I'm here.
It went out.
Oh, you're both back.
You're back.
I wasn't very gone. You just saw the inside of my tablet.
Okay. So, we have still a comment from Samantha also. And I am not gonna try to do a British accent. I can't even do accents in German. So.
You can't? That is very komisch.
Yeah.
We should really work on this.
Let's not. So Samantha is writing, I've seen a lot more Hufflepuffs around since Fantastic Beasts came out a few years ago, and I love that. It makes me really happy. I think people are a lot prouder to be Hufflepuff. I think people who don't know Fantastic Beasts exist, I know where have these people even been hiding, still have a weird misconception about Hufflepuff being the house that no one wants to be in. But overall, I see so many people in Puff merch and just generally being a lot happier to say that they are Hufflepuffs. As for my personal opinion on the house, I didn't have much of an opinion on it before. I wasn't one of those people who thought poorly of it, but it wasn't my favorite house either. But now that there is a lot more emphasis on this good quality, let's try that again. But now...
Oh, you said his sorry. More of an emphasis on his ass. I was like, oh, okay. That's what I heard. Carry on.
It wasn't her favorite house, she said. But now that there's a lot more emphasis on its good qualities, and Newt Scamander, I love it. So it's definitely made me love the house more than ever before. Hope we get some Ravenclaw representation too.
I would say so. Look, I'm a 400% Ravenclaw. And what do I have?
Approximately.
Because it's the only thing I got. Okay, it's from a friend and I basically stole it from her, but...
Well, if you want, we can immediately jump into the merch discussion here, because the next point is actually from you.
Because she says it there that there you see a lot more Hufflepuff stuff. Yeah. Like, yes, we see your head, and we see Melanie's room, and
even Helga is here. Have you seen?
Oh yeah, I have a shirt too.
I've seen your.
I even have a Loyal Wizard candle on. It smells like honey everywhere.
That's disgusting. I mean, very nice.
Yeah.
So when we want to go into merch right now, because the first one came from me, the first comment came from me, and I said, but what do you mean with Ravenclaws as well? We get nothing, not even right merch or anything. People tend to forget that we exist. And I mean, that's true. It's the merch thing is something that annoys me so much that I don't want to buy stuff that is blue and silver and has Raven on it, because it's not Ravenclaw.
Yeah.
It is something that the movie makers made out to be. And I do remember just lately, I think, who was it? I think Noble Collection or somebody, and they had stuff from the different houses, and they were like, and they had the blue and silver raven stuff. And I said, oh, that's pretty, the blue and silver. They like the raven, but sadly, it's not Ravenclaw stuff they have. And they were like, yeah, well, we're doing the movies. We are doing what they said in the movies, or what was represented in the movies. And I was like, that's really not what you should do.
I never actually understood why is it even that way. Why is it called Ravenclaw if there is an eagle on the, so that is what is so confusing, and that's why maybe so many just go with the merch like that, because they are not knowing the fact that it's supposed to be an eagle. So and they go
actually in French we have eagle in the translation. It's not in French, it's cerf d'aigle, which is claw of eagle and not Ravenclaw. So yeah. So that's even more annoying for me, because I always knew, because it was even in the name, that we have this eagle as our emblem. And I'm a bit annoyed too, but I get that. I don't get why in the movies they changed to, because maybe it was too confusing with Ravenclaw and an eagle. I get, but I get
how
why
many times do you really see it? I mean, how many times do you really see it in the Ravenclaw emblem in the movies? So why not just stick to the books? I mean, of course, in the first few versions of the books, it was, I think, red and bronze and an eagle, and not even blue and bronze. So,
and I think at first for Hufflepuff, it was supposed to be a bear and not a badger. So
I think we should be a puffer fish.
I think a badger is so much cooler. I think they actually are like really cute and sweet, but they can like really
kind of
they can be really nasty. So and I feel very much like that. I'm usually a very nice, kind person. I like to help you with whatever you need help with. But if you're coming for my friends or something, I will rip you apart. So
I will be really... I can say whatever I want. I can make fun of your boyfriend and you are not going to kill me.
So I don't think I have to really read my comment here. We were just discussing a bit about that I think there is a lot of merch, but that I am well aware of the trouble with the raven and the eagle problem. And
when we are thinking about that, raven could be a good Ravenclaw emblem, because they are the smartest of birds.
I think so too.
Yeah, I'm not mad about having a raven on my stuff. The only thing is that obviously in the books it's an eagle, but
it's Shaky R's idea, so you kind of want to have the
Shaky
R part of it.
She kept Raven in the title of the house, so
she should have.
The Raven is not. Yeah,
she should have thought that better through. It should have just been a raven. I think ravens are one of the most beautiful birds, and I think they're really smart, and it fits just perfectly. I think. I mean, eagles are amazing too, of course, but just the connection is not quite there. So I never really understood why is it actually like that. And then there's no wonder there's all this confusion and the merch is wrong in that way. So and just as a side note here, still Oreo also wrote the same thing still in addition, that she thinks that the main issue is the raven and the eagle thing on the merch, and that most of her Ravenclaw friends are also complaining about that. So It's not just us who are complaining about it. There's a lot more.
And it's the wrong house to have this kind of problem, because we are really picky on details. So
yeah. I mean, I find it even kind of funny, and maybe it's because I'm a Ravenclaw, but I find it kind of funny that it's not a raven but an eagle. I love stuff like this, where it's just like, that doesn't make any sense, but then you're just like, and that's why it's funny.
maybe it's supposed to be on purpose like that. It should make you think, as a Ravenclaw, you want to think about stuff and be smart. Use your brain.
I love this. I love it.
So we just have like 2 more small, very short comments, which are very similar. That Amy is saying, I've seen so many more people sporting Hufflepuff gear in recent years, which could be attributed to the prevalence to the prevalence of the House and Fantastic Beasts, or to the increased availability of merch. And Samantha still said also, I've seen a lot more balance when it comes to merch too. When I was in university back in 2013, my Ravenclaw friend could never find merch for her house, but now I see generally even split of all the houses merch-wise. So I do have to say that, and Eleanor again also said the same, that there's definitely more for every house, and I have to agree. It's just the
drool. Yeah. I just saw that on my arm. That's my dog. She's been drooling on my arm. I'm
she
like,
has something to say too.
Disgusting.
So there's definitely, I think, way more merch for every single house now. If we not look at the issue of the Raven and the Eagle, there's for Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw now on many pages just as much merch from everything as you can expect from Gryffindor and Slytherin from the past few years. And I think that's actually really great.
Yeah, and go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Mar. Go ahead.
I just want to note that this scarf is not Hufflepuff scarf; it's Newt scarf, and that's why I bought it at the first place, because it was Newt scarf, and also because I like to have Hufflepuff merch and to represent my secondary heart house. But that's definitely a prop connected to characters and not exclusively to the house. So you can see this scarf everywhere just because it's Newt scarf. But now it helps the Hufflepuff representation. So yeah.
And I was gonna say, I went to Primark last week in Boston with my mom, and they had like displays. They had like all the Harry Potter stuff, and they had displays for like each section for each house, and it was hard to find Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff stuff. It was all sold out. They had plenty of Slytherin and Gryffindor stuff.
Sold out?
I couldn't find. I was looking for they had a little backpack, and they only had one of them left. And then they had another backpack that the person said that they had, but they were all gone. And they had like house-colored brushes. They had no Ravenclaw ones left. They had a ton of Slytherin ones, ton of Gryffindor ones, and there was one Hufflepuff brush left.
So doesn't that show you how starved these two houses were for merch?
Yeah, I think it's because of Primark. They don't have the same stock of the 4 houses, because I went to Primark last week, I think, and it was the opposite, because for the some merch that I suppose had the 4 houses, they were, I think they prepared the same stock for each houses, and when I went, there was just Hufflepuff left. There was no other houses left. Yeah,
Okay.
and for
that would've been good
other
for me.
kind of product, they still make just Slytherin and Gryffindor for some merch.
Yeah,
so,
I just wanted to say,
yeah.
that I think what happened there was that they just had Gryffindor, Slytherin, and Hufflepuff, and nothing for Ravenclaw at all. It's what I
Maybe it
could.
could have been.
I mean, it sounds like it.
They had like a few Ravenclaw things, but like there wasn't very much.
Yeah.
I know they had at least something because they had displays that were like empty. Like there was parts of the displays where it was like they had like the backpack and the shirt and the little like whatever the heck the other thing was for each house, like set up in like a little square display for each one, and
Yeah.
it was just empty in those spots. So they must have. I don't know how much stock they had on them, but they existed in some capacity.
Yeah.
Whether it be they only had one Ravenclaw brush that they had ordered, and one person came in and bought it, but it was there at some point. Lord only knows when.
I just remember the time I was really disappointed, and it was much later after I first went to Primark and saw Ravenclaw stuff. But the second time I went, and keep in mind this must have been years apart from each other because we don't have a Primark very near to me. They had this beautiful night shirts for Gryffindor and Slytherin, and I was so mad about it because I wanted to have this. It looked so great, and they didn't have it for Ravenclaw, and so I didn't buy it.
I remember an instance. I think it's maybe 3 years ago now. We went to Harry Potter in concert of the first
jealous
of the first
I
movie.
want to go there.
We went here in Finland
February.
we went here in Finland in Helsinki, and it was really nice to, I dressed up in my Hufflepuff outfit, and the girls also had a bit of their stuff that went with me, and there were several other people, not that many though, that have been dressing up. And there was a stand where you could buy some merch. There was some shirts, and I don't remember what else, some other small things and wands and such. But only Gryffindor, only Slytherin. Not even one thing for the other two houses at all. And that was like 3 years ago. So that really annoyed me so much too.
Yeah, that's obnoxious.
Yeah.
I do remember the time when I saw these beautiful night shirts. That was shortly after Fantastic Beasts had came out, and I didn't care for Fantastic Beasts very much. So it was what I ended up with was some Harry Potter socks or something. So, but there was not yet the puff merch that I see now.
Yeah.
And I haven't been, and I will probably never will be going to Primark again because I don't like Primark and I don't like the policies and stuff what they do. So
yeah, but now, that makes me think that when you see somebody in the street wearing a Gryffindor scarf, you don't I guess in the past you were just thinking, oh, that's a Harry Potter fan. You don't think, oh, that's a Gryffindor. Now, when you see somebody wearing a Ravenclaw scarf or a Hufflepuff scarf, you can say, oh, this is a Ravenclaw. This is a Potterhead and a Ravenclaw. This is a Potterhead and a Hufflepuff.
Yeah.
But and so I think I see less and less Gryffindor scarf in the streets, and more other colors. So now that I see a Gryffindor scarf, I can have this doubt: is she or is he a real Gryffindor or just a Harry Potter fan? I don't know.
That's why I don't like to wear my Hufflepuff sweater outside, because I don't want people to think that I'm a Hufflepuff. And not because Hufflepuff is a stupid house or something. I think we have come to the conclusion that Hufflepuffs are very great, but I am not a Hufflepuff. I am a Ravenclaw, and I want my Ravenclaw shirt, and I please want it with the right colors and the right mascot. So
I can fully understand that.
Same.
Even when I wear this sweatshirt, and sometimes it's like, oh god, it looks so much like, and it's not Raven, it just has the colors of Hufflepuff.
We're wearing the same color.
It makes me so pale, though. Anyway.
There's just one more thing that I can tell. In 2017, the 19 years later, we went to London, to King's Cross on the 1st of September to see the train go off. And during that day, we did a lot of sightseeing of film locations and such, and did a little bit of a guided tour as well through town. And it was really nice to see people from all sorts of houses wearing their colors and really proudly. So again, this was in London, so it was a big special event also. People came from all over the world. But still, it was just so nice that you did not see only Gryffindor and Slytherin. You saw really Ravenclaw, lots of Hufflepuff, and it was really nice. So there is a change happening, and I think it's good. And there is Eddie.
Eddie.
All right.
I didn't sleep or something.
To wrap up our main discussion for today, I just wanted to thank you all from the common room, which was Josh, Mari, Lizzie, Eleanor, Sophie, Ariel, Amy, Jennifer, Samantha, Oreo, and Margie. Thank you so much for sending all your comments in. It was so great, and you gave us over 1 hour and 30 minutes of discussion. That's just amazing.
I think from now on we should really just have 1 hour episodes. Oh yeah, I agree. I do agree.
I was already thinking today it's probably gonna be a little bit longer. So if you want to take a break now.
I'm gonna have
You're
to.
talking to me
myself.
Go back.
No, those who are actually watching.
Man.
I'm gonna have to leave because Elaine's like really. I can tell she's really got to poop.
So we're gonna have another intermission of joke of the week in the middle of the show.
Oh yeah, I'm so excited for these hilarious jokes.
My favorite one is still the Crumbledore joke. Like, I was thinking about it while I was picking out other jokes, and I was like, oh boy, the Crumbledore joke just gets me. Okay.
Shoot.
What animal is the projection of Mr. Weasley? What is an animal projection, Mr. Weasley? Oh. A Piranus. Like a Patronus, but no, that was bad. We'll find another one.
Yeah, we should to understand English if we can.
I didn't get that at all.
Yeah, no, my delivery was not good. Okay. Let me flip to where I had the other little tabbies. Okay. Why are Bowtruckles so good at gymnastics? Because they always stick the landing.
Yeah. Beasty approval joke.
Okay. Let me see what else I. Why was Newt Scamander so worried about his animals?
But why?
Because everyone was on his case.
Oh.
Well.
Okay, one more.
I love those jokes, but they're really not good.
They're terrible.
I think that's the point.
These books are just like the jokes are literally just awful.
I usually love terrible jokes, but these are just too terrible.
Let's have one more.
One more.
Where does Newt buy his hamburgers? Fantastic Meats and where to find them. Oh boy. So the jokes are just. Here's some lovely artwork for this week. This is a Hippogriff in a wig.
We just had a moon calf in a wig. Did you
Yeah.
see what she did?
Oh wow, that's a nice wig, Sophie.
Yeah.
Where did you get that wig from?
It's called real hair.
Real hair.
Real hair.
Sounds fancy.
Mm-hmm.
These jokes are literally the worst ones. There's a whole chapter of knock knock jokes. These ones are like, I was reading them and I was like, these are not funny at all.
You cannot do knock knock jokes with us because we don't get them. We don't have knock knock jokes here.
Oh, you guys don't have knock knock jokes?
We don't have knock knock jokes. I remember the first time I heard a knock knock joke was like when I was 13 years old or something on
really?
Full House or some other series. I was like, what the fuck is going on? What is a knock knock joke?
These are so bad. Like, this one's like, really, ready? Okay, this one's terrible. Knock knock, who's there? Woof. Serious. That's the whole joke. Like, how is that even funny?
I think that's funny.
Be like,
it's just so bad.
I think it was good.
Look,
I liked
that's
it.
literally the entirety of the joke. Woof. Serious?
the question is serious.
Yeah, there's okay.
But shouldn't the question be like seriously?
It's you again or something. I don't know.
I mean, I love those jokes with seriously.
What do you call a great wizard made of bread? Crumbledore. That was still my favorite.
There it is.
Good one. We keep going back to Crumbledore.
Yay!
Yay! There it is. The only good joke in this
The
book.
only good joke in the whole book.
We blew that one out on the first one already.
I know. It was because the artwork was just so compelling.
Yeah.
That's all it came down to.
Of course, we do all remember the nude cat from the last episode because it was adorable.
Oh, okay, well, I gotta go take Elena, otherwise I'm gonna have a big old steamy poop to clean up on the rug.
Have a nice walk.
We shall. I'll see you ladies later.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
So
now I think we should move on and maybe not linger too long on it so it's not another hour that we are.
Yeah.
It's already.
Yeah, because we have a lot
1:42.
of prediction this week, actually.
Yeah, we do, but some of them are kind of intertwining, so it's maybe quite easy to get through them. But let's move on to our snacks first. Do you actually have any?
Yeah, I did.
Donuts.
Donuts.
I have chocolate.
So we have
But
all very basic treats today because I am having some chips. I didn't have anything else. Okay.
Oh, that's disgusting. Or
You want some of our treats? Come over.
are those sprinkles?
I'm not gonna name names here.
But yes.
This is not sponsored.
Nope.
Don't buy these. They are disgusting. Now it's not sponsored by anything.
All right. I never will be. So, our first prediction of this week is an actually funny one.
Yeah.
When they made an April Fool's Day joke about that the movie is pushed back, but in fact it came true for movie 3.
Ha ha ha! It's so funny.
As you so nicely pointed out a couple of days ago, it's 2 years now still left.
No.
Less than 2
Because
years
I
now.
said this. Yes, exactly. Because I said this a few days ago. It's not even 2 years to go.
Not even 2 years anymore. That makes it instantly better.
Right? Like the day it happened, I was like, oh, finally.
Okay, I can give you a.
We do have a
leap
year between. So.
I can give you a little spoiler for the next episode. I'm saying exactly the same thing. It's less than 2 years, and the other hosts are. Well,
that's your spoiler, really? That's your spoiler.
I think we have learned by now that we can't expect more than that.
Nope.
It's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
You forgot your wand again, Mrs.
No, I thought about it, but just thinking about it doesn't make it appear. From wherever it is, I have no idea where it went.
Okay.
I think it's somewhere behind my bed, and that's not a place I want to visit.
Let's move on.
Yeah, so the next prediction, it was from a listener's outpost, and it was about thinking that Newt might have helped Dumbledore to work on the discovery of the 12 uses of dragon's blood.
Yeah.
And that reminds me that there is still some theories about the 12 uses of dragon's blood being of some importance in the future. And I know that I read one about one of the uses of dragon blood being important to destroy blood pact, maybe. So.
I did read one where it said it could help getting an obscurus out of an obscurial. So that could be one of the cures.
Yeah.
We shall see. Yeah.
I don't really like dragons, so yeah.
I don't really like the idea of Credence getting rid of his obscurius, because it would take something away from him, and the obscurus definitely stands for something in his personality. So I wouldn't like.
Because that makes it very tragic, it's definitely gonna happen, because that's what she does to us. And he's gonna die in the process.
And also we know that Credence won't make it. So
no, he definitely won't.
I'm already crying about them. Well, see, I don't cry in movies, but I'm already crying about the fact that Ezra Miller will have to leave the series at one point, and I do feel bad for him.
You know, I'm even going as far as to say, if he would actually make it through the movies and stays alive, I'm gonna eat my Hufflepuff tie, and you can quote me on that.
I will quote you on that.
He is going to die. I know he will be.
I think he will either die or never be human again. So
yeah.
But he is human.
That's what I mean. He will not be human again.
Oh, you mean like Nagini, that he changes into the black mist forever?
Else.
Or he's gonna turn into the Phoenix, as some people think.
Yeah.
So he's Dumbledore's Phoenix.
Okay.
There are. Wait, we have had that one. There are also theories going around about that Newt might have met Lupin's father through his studies. And I would actually really like to see that.
I would too. Yeah. But recently, just the other day, I read a theory which said that Lupin is Harry's father in real life, and I'm just like, no. Nope. But okay, go ahead.
So yeah, I'm as a big fan of Remus. It's my favorite character. I love the backstory about his family. So yeah, I would love to see Lial. But he's born at the end of the 20s, so it would be quite young. But and he worked in the same ministry department as Newt in the 60s, so I'm not sure how the timeline would work. But yeah, I know that who cares about timeline anymore, so it's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Then we have one that kind of intertwined each other. Shannon starts with saying, maybe we learn more about the magical properties of the number 7. They were talking about Bridget Wenlock, who discovered these. And she says further, I wonder how the number 7 will come up in Fantastic Beasts. Megan says, maybe they make 7 movies. Shannon says, maybe he has to catch 7 beasts. And Ariel adds, I feel like that's so many. And I had to laugh at that so much because that was just adorable. That's so many. And also they make 7 movies. Yeah, it's quite close.
I mean, it was before we knew that it was going to be 5 movies. Yeah. So they were kind of right.
Mm-hmm. So that was.
So I tried to count the beasts in the first movie. So I only found that there is 6 beasts out of the case. So the Mudlab, the Niffler, the Demiguise, the Okami, the Erupment, and the Billywood. Erupment, I don't know. Eruptif in French. And I thought that if we add Frank, the Thunderbird at the end, we have 7.
Yes.
So
yes,
it works.
Because you weren't sure, and I'm that mess of a person, and also I'm a Ravenclaw, and I need to know stuff. I did count also, and I also just came up with 6.
Yeah.
And then Frank, of course, at the end.
Are you eating sausages?
Because the donuts are so disgusting.
So anything is better than those donuts, I guess.
I have to eat dinner at one point, right?
That's why I ate a large portion of food before we started.
I usually do that too, but today we started at 6 p.m., so that's pretty early.
Yeah.
Then we have a couple of predictions here that are all are centered around Newt and how he represents Hufflepuff. And Ariel and Shannon start with saying that they could see Newt as being clumsy and silly. Maybe not really Hufflepuff traits.
No, but he is.
They were talking about Tonks as clumsy.
Yes, they were
silly.
comparing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that of all 4 main characters of Fantastic Beasts is the least clumsy. Especially with Queenie, I think these 2, because Tina has the mustard on her face, it's kind of clumsy, and Jacob, just by his nature, is very clumsy. So Newt is silly at points, like with mating dance. But he is silly to us. But for him, it makes sense. Like, he is completely committed to it. For him, it is not like a joke or something.
I think he has more of a chaotic thing about him a little bit.
Yeah. But forgetting to fix his case was silly, I guess.
Also chaotic.
Yeah.
Because then all hell broke loose.
Yeah. And he is kind of clumsy when it comes to words. Like, he's trying to say Tina has eyes that look like a salamander and not like the eyes of a salamander, which is kind of a difference. But yeah, that's the only clumsy I would say he kind of has. If you consider that I only have one translation in my head about the word clumsy.
Then we have Ariel saying, what Newt is going to represent the most of Hufflepuff traits is dedication and hard work, but also fairness. And I think that's quite right.
Yeah.
That's him.
Shannon says... Shannon, oh yeah, you read, yeah. Sorry.
It's for you, so you don't have to read all of them.
Yeah. Good.
So yeah, Shannon said that he strikes me as the type of person who is involved with the government. So because he likes the government, no, not because he likes the government, but because he wants to do good things. And so that's, I think it's not really what happened in the movies, especially in the second one. So I don't think he has any faith or trust in the government. So for me, he worked with the governments before the movies just because he had to earn some money, but I don't think he has any faith into them.
I mean, he tries to do good things for the werewolves, for example.
But that will be in the future, not in.
That will be in the future, yes, of course.
Yeah.
So I think he probably has intention to do some good while he is there, but he also, I mean, his boggart is a desk job, so yeah, he definitely is not doing that with passion. And
#relatable.
But yeah, at the beginning of Crimes of Grindelwald, when we see the interview with the minister guys, we clearly saw that he's not at all comfortable with this kind of people, with politicians, and he can't even fake to say, okay, I will work with you because we will try to do the right thing. He just shut the door. So yeah.
Do you want to read the next one, Sophie?
Is it the Megan or the Eleanor one? Yeah,
it's Megan.
I think his open-mindedness is going to be important. There were characters in the HP series that saw creatures as being below them and characters that treated them with respect, regardless of if they were on the good side or the bad side. Harry was one of those, with Buckbeak and Dobby, etc. And I get the feeling that Newt is going to be like that too. Somebody that does not automatically try to control them or put them in a demeaning place. He is going to try to learn from them and get to know them. To be fair, when I heard this, I was like, Harry do have some preconceived notions about the beast, and he is like not super friendly about all of them. When compared to Newt, he is like, every creature is better than human beings. It's basically what Newt is saying or thinking. So I don't think that you should compare Newt and Harry, but definitely Harry isn't like, I don't know, trying to kill every magical creature, but he's not super into them as like Newt. Because there's nobody like into them like Newt.
So what you should have said that is that he is taking it even a step further.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, he's even taking it a step further than Hagrid is, because Hagrid is kind of like more about the dangerous ones, whereas Newt also loves
he loves
sweet
everything.
Ones. Yeah, he loves all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, when she notes that he does not automatically try to control them. I think I had this expectation over Newt to really be respectful and in a way, but I guess we already had this debate when we talk about veganism. But Newt still use the beast as weapon, for example, and that's something that is not the best thing to thought about.
At the same time, he doesn't exploit them. He isn't like, you have to do it now. He is kind of giving them their natural habitat, even if he uses them as a weapon. You know, he isn't like, you have to do this now. He's more like, stop doing this now. Like with the swooping evil, he's like, stop the brains, come here.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but he still used the swooping evil as a yo-yo, so.
Okay, yes, that was kind of stupid. That did not feel like Newt would do this. That was more like a movie moment. Like it didn't even feel like a good movie moment. It felt like it was just made for 3D cinema experience.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Eleanor says, through his upbringing with the hippogriffs, Newt will be about trust and respect.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has a bit of a problem with trust at the beginning of movie 1. That's thanks to Jacob, Tina, and Queenie that he is more trustful. But at the beginning, he has he trusts his beast, but not at all the humans. So
I think in connection to the discussion that they had, I think Eleanor talks here about that how he is handling the animals.
Yeah.
So that he would be all about trust and respect towards the beasts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There we have what you just said is exactly that he is so socially awkward with human beings, and he's very different with his beasts.
It's one.
Yeah.
Except the Niffler, that he knows that he can't trust the Niffler, but.
Yeah, that's true. He knows that. So Ariel then said that she wanted a flashback to Newt's childhood. On the hippogriff farm, baby Newt and the baby hippogriff is what I need. She said, and I'm like, yes, same. For all those years. And years ago, I think like 2 years ago, I found this amazing picture of a child, and I hope it's okay if I show it, but I mean, isn't that just little Newt as a baby? Like, look at him.
So
I see a young Sherlock.
I was just thinking that too. It's the the
scarf and the coat.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Okay. I thought it was a young Newt, but if you want to ruin
still
it,
British though, so
yeah,
still British.
Yeah, but the wrong actor.
Okay.
Okay, let's move on
During
from
the time
stupid
turner,
statement.
During the time turner, Meghan they were talking about flappers in the 20s. So Meghan said there are a lot of female characters, and I wonder if feminism movement is going to be a significant factor in the film. So yeah, and I remember that they noted that they already knew that there is a lot of female characters. So.
And now we have even more female characters.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Yeah.
But there is some debate around how they are used.
Yes. But, I would say it would be cool if they would address this issue that, I mean, we still do have this issue in the world, but I also kind of find it unnecessary for them to address it, because sexism isn't a problem, really, just like racism isn't. In this world, like they have a black female president, something that no country ever had except for some African countries. I know that they had some female presidents. And so I think that the only problem they have is not in the movie, but by making these movies, is that now I feel like the female characters if you think about the first movie, like Tina and Queenie, they were so strong characters, and but now they're just like kind of sidelined and made to be love interests for the male characters, and I just don't like it.
Yeah, that's not a problem in the world building because that's just what you said. It's not a problem of world building, it's more a problem of storytelling. So
yeah,
agree.
Thank you.
Then we still have a couple of points about the Newt case, and that one was about the Diricawl, also known as the dodo bird to the Muggles. Shannon says that I would love to see a Diricawl and in Fantastic Beasts. She adds, maybe it comes up in Fantastic Beasts that the dodo bird is actually extinct, but the wizards don't tell the Muggles that it's not. And she sets a scene. They are all are fighting, and Newt comes in with a Diricawl and is like, "Look, it's a dodo bird."
I mean, they are in the film, and
yes, they are.
It is one of my favorite things J.K.R. put into this book. Like, it is so funny, and it's just so J.K.R. for her to be like, yeah, the Muggles thinks they're extinct, but I know better. And we do see the dodo birds, or what is it called?
Diricawls.
And we see them. There's a mother or father, I don't know, and little babies, and they're escaping the.
And they're
Nandu,
just popping around.
Popping around, and they're just like, the Nandu is one of the most dangerous creatures, and they're just like, nah, you can't catch us because we are still so cute.
Yeah, I was also really happy that they were there because I always liked it. It's so cute.
Yeah, that just the idea of them makes me laugh so hard. It's just so. It's just so. It makes the whole world, like the whole wizarding world, like so much more exciting. Little things like that.
Ariel is adding to Shannon's idea of how he could pop up in the movie, adding that the Diricawl, she wishes that the Diricawl could talk and then say something along the lines like, I'm the hell out of here, kind of like that.
It made me think of Ice Age when all the dodo birds were like dying just to preserve those few melons they had. And they were all talking, and we were just like, "Oh God, shut up! You're annoying." But I would think that they would make the Diricawls sound very cute.
Yeah. So sorry, Ariel, but this type of it was not given to us. And then we have a last one where Shannon says the Diricawl is Newt's other sidekick, sitting on his shoulder, just like the Niffler. That would have been adorable too.
The Niffler doesn't sit on Newt's shoulder.
No, but he's always somehow around.
Does. Yeah, but Pickett does. So the Dougal Award does not go to Shannon this week.
Nope. All right, so now we actually made it, and it's been 2 hours and 8 minutes so far. Congratulations if you made it.
Sorry.
Or welcome if you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So, for the contacts, does someone of you want to do it, or should I do it for once? Sophie wants to. Do you want to do the long one or the short one?
I'll do the short one as always. If you wish to get in contact with us, you will find all the information you need in the info down below.
Yep.
We are looking forward to hearing from you. Please leave a comment. We live off them.
Yes, it was so nice to have one last time.
Yeah.
And I just still wanted to add that if you are becoming a Patreon and join the Common Room, you currently still have time until November 25th to sign up for the Common Room gift exchange this year. So this is going to be really fun.
It's Monday. So now is the time to get in. You could get a present from
Chop,
me,
chop.
or her, or her, or her, or her, or wherever you guys are.
Or that Hufflepuff, or that Hufflepuff, or maybe that Hufflepuff. Yeah, so...
Nice, now I get a phone call. I don't have time.
No, you still have to say goodbye.
Yes.
So I have been Melanie.
I'm still Sophie.
I will continue to be Marjolaine.
And Juliana will always be Juliana.
Yeah.
Yes, she will always be.
Case
closed.
closed.
Goodbye.